All right, here's a double filter polarization problem. All right, so we've got polarized light that's polarized vertically going through two filters. The first filter is 30 degrees from the horizontal. The second filter is 30 degrees from the vertical. So they're not the same filter. Okay? Now we want to know what fraction of the light is going to come out to the end. Because we're looking at a fraction problem, we're going to say I naught equals 1. Anytime it asks you for a fraction answer, assume that the original was 1. Okay? In between, we'll call that I1, and as it comes out the back, we'll call it I2. Okay? Now, the equation for going through polarized filters is that I, the output, is equal to the input, called I initial, I final, is equal to times cosine of theta squared. Now in this case, I initial is I naught, so that's 1. I final is I1, and it's times cosine. And we got to find out what that theta is. So, looking at this, we measured it from the horizontal instead of from the vertical. Okay, so if we look at a circle, and we know that our original was up and down, straight up and down, and our second line is 30 degrees from the horizontal. What angle does this have to be? Turns out it has to be 60. Okay? So you have 60 degrees squared, and this is going to come out to be 1/4. So, we're then going through a second filter. And so we would say I2 is equal to I1 times cosine of theta, the new theta. I'll call it theta 2. I'm going to go back and call the first one theta 1. So we know I1 is 1/4, but what about theta? Okay, if we draw the circle again, we have, it's between how the light is here and the light is here. After light goes through the first filter, it's now polarized at that 30-degree angle, which is a different 30-degree angle with this. So again, if we were to draw our little angles here, we got our straight up and down, horizontal. First line is 30 degrees from the horizontal, second one is 30 degrees from the vertical. Now again, we have the angle between them having to be 30 degrees. Okay, so our angle here is going to be 30. See? 1/4 I2 equals 1/4 times cosine of 30 squared. And this should come out to be 1/8. Okay, so 1/8 of the light is going to get through the two filters. It's going to be 1/8 as bright. Now how would this change if instead of having vertically polarized light, we had unpolarized light? So say the light's just coming in unpolarized. The only difference would be, instead of having I1 equal to all this, I1 would just be 1/2. And then we would get I2 is equal to 1/2 times cosine of 30 squared, and it would equal 1/4. Okay? So it's very similar, so that the first step doesn't require any calculations. And that's a double polarization problem.